Hi, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about practical ways to get over grief. If you have lost someone in accident or a natural death, you love that person very much. It need not be a relative, but a lot of people have a lot of grief missing their pets. So there was this one co-panelist. Like last year, I went to Hyderabad uh, for a conference, and one of the co-panelists, we were having discussions over coffee after the session, and he became a little comfortable, and he came up and opened up and asked me, Antriksh, I terribly miss my father who's no more. I was very young when he left his body. Is there something you can do about it? And I was like, let's work on it. And then the first question I asked, how much grief you have. And now it's been so many years he's lost his father, but there's no replacement for it, right? The emotional loss is always there. So today, this video, we're going to talk about how to get over this emotional loss. This can be a little longer video, but I'm sure if you continue to watch this, you will definitely learn how to get over emotional loss over someone's death. And see, it's very natural. I decided to do this video because in quarantine, a lot of my friends have lost their near ones, and one of the guilt apart from the grief which they carry is due to the lockdown they were not able to visit their near ones whom whomsoever they lost it, and they might miss them terribly. Like that's this thing always there. So even see, there's a lot of time. There's a natural phase of getting over the grief. It's a natural phase. It's a period. But there are a lot of people who are not willing to let go, consciously or unconsciously, the memories of the person who is no more. Sometimes they carry it for 2 years, sometimes they carry it for 10 years, and the whole of their life becomes very difficult because of the grief. They're not emotionally sound, and they're not emotionally comfortable to perform whatever they are doing. And it's not that you will stop working, but then what happens is once that grief strikes back again, it takes 2 to 3 days, sometimes 10-15 days to get over that phase of trauma and get back into working normal. And so that's the scene. That's why I'm doing this video, so that more and more people who've gone through similar incidences can get over this emotional loss of not of death of a near one. So this gentleman who was panelist, so I asked him first question, how much do you miss your father? And he told 10 on 10. He misses terribly. For a moment there, his eyes became damp and he started being emotional, and then I just deviated the topic and then got him back to the comfort zone. And that's why I asked him, I told him why I asked this question is because a lot of times you don't want to get over all the memories of the person you have lost. You only want to get over this feeling of grief, right? If the person whom you have lost was alive today, that person would never ever approve of you missing them terribly. They would even feel bad about it, right? So one of the best ways to get over grief is to decide that, you know what, it's over, but you're not gonna miss them. Rather cherish all the happy memories which you have done with them. One of the reasons why we don't delete whole memories of the person who is going through grief is because when you delete the whole episode, you will be like a person who's never been with the person. Like that the whole episode of memory is gone from the head, right? So with that, also the happy memories go away. So when you're working with a person who's going through grief, or you are going through grief, just make sure you collect all the memories where you want to miss that person very badly and you're feeling uncomfortable. Sometimes the throat is choking for the person breaks down and cries and all of that, right? These are the different ways a person goes through grief. And so the first step to understand is to label that grief. Okay, just put a label to it. Like you are feeling bad over missing someone terribly. It can be missing your father, it can be missing your pet, or missing XYZ. Yes. So once you've done that, first thing to do next after labeling it is make a list of happy memories you have lived with the person. Yeah, so this gentleman who I worked with in the conference have made a list, and he was telling how as a child his father would pick him up and they would walk around the seashore, and he would the father would buy him balloons and a lot of other stuffs. So this was one happy memory. And similarly, I didn't get inside these stories, but then I asked him to make 10 such amazing moments in his life where he really cherishes and he really appreciates the good deeds, the noble features, like the good qualities of the person who is no more alive. So what happened in next 3 minutes is this person's face, lit with joy, his eyes gleamed with joy because he is still remembering his father, but he's remembering the happy memories. So what I just did now is I deviated his focus from missing the person terribly and remembering the happy memories which he has lived with the person who is no more, right? So the next moment what I did is I also asked him to make a smaller list or make a parallel list where what he is seeing inside in the head, right? Like how thoughts occur to us is in the form of pictures and sounds and images in the head, right? So I asked him what happens when you terribly feel the loss of your father. So he told he sees pictures of the funeral, like a movie. He sees the whole flashback, and when the flashback comes, he becomes terribly inconsolable, and he just loses his control, and sometimes he breaks down. And imagine if you see the pictures of funeral, regardless of what relationship you have shared with the person, whether you've been a son or you've been a friend or you've been just like a relative, a well-wisher, but if you keep running the images of funeral and setting the pyre to the fire, all of these are horrible pictures to have in your head. So what I did for next 4-5 minutes with him is I asked him to on a loop see the images where he's missing the person, make them black and white, make them small, and delete it. And then the next thing which I asked him to do is go on a loop of memories where he cherished the qualities of his father. So what he will do is he'll delete the memories which make him terribly miss his father, and then replace them with the memories where he cherished his father. So next 4-5 minutes I asked him to repeat this 50-60 times, and there was programming. It happened. If you are having a background of neuro-linguistic programming, I just did a visual swish. And with this process, in next 4-5 minutes, this person had jumbled up the memories of missing his father terribly because he kept seeing the images of funeral. He replaced them with the images of cherishing, and images of love, images of positive qualities which he wanted to inherit from his father. And then I asked him to repeat it twice or thrice, once more later during the evening, so that the memories are even more stronger and the conditioning is concrete. And then I spoke to him a couple of more times, and then I asked him, do you miss your father anymore? He told me that he does miss his father, but in a really good way. And every time he gets inside some crisis of life, or sometimes when he's feeling nervous or he doesn't have confidence to face the problems in the life, he goes back to those memories and thinks if his father was alive, what advice he would have given to him. And you know what? This is something beautiful about neuro-linguistic programming and the change work we do around it. It leaves a lasting and generative impact on the person who does that. So I just worked with one memory where he's making images of the funeral and missing his father terribly, and I replaced with his own memories of his father as a child, how loving episodes he had in his childhood. This developed into a motivational strategy that whenever he feels sad, he is actually getting the flashbacks of past when he was with his father and when his father was alive, and bringing the resources from past as a motivational strategy. Now, this motivation is what is not going to let you down. It is not going to go over in 2 days or 3 days when the energy subsides, but this motivation is going to be permanent. So, whoever is watching this video, try this technique out. It just works. And if you need some help, you can ping me. I will personally guide you how to do this technique and get over the grief, because we really want to cherish the people we have lost. I've lost my grandparents, I've lost my uncle, and more than anyone, I was very attached to my uncle, right? And every time I thought about him in childhood, I used to really, really miss him terribly, sometimes even break down. But once I learned what I just shared with you all I started remembering is the happy memories with him. And this changed the game. And in this way, you are cherishing the moments you've spent with the person who is no more physically present. So you still have a companionship of that person in your head, in your memories, and the positive qualities of the person are still alive with you. And in this way, you also develop a new sense of freedom for yourself, freedom from the intense sadness which grief brings along, which sometimes impairs your functioning. It also spoils your performance. It also spoils your relationships. So let's stop all this crap and let's start the life in a way which it should be. It should be loving. It should be happy, and it should also be beautiful to look at, right? So if you miss someone very terribly after their death, do follow this technique, and you can let me know how you feel after that. And and if you want me to make videos on some other technique also, let me know and I will do that. Thank you all. This is Antriksh Tatia. Do like, share and subscribe.